It really is a love story. That there is a real
A bromance.
a bromance.
A
yes.
bromance.
All right, relax, everybody.
right,
I
my
can't
No,
stand
there
the
is
guy.
Right now.
Hey, Anthony, where'd you get this podcasting stuff from?
It fell off the back of a truck. Did I tell you what happened to the other camera?
No.
The battery
It,
won't come out.
The battery got so swollen it's stuck in there, and that's why that I bought a new camera. So we didn't have to do that anymore.
Oh my God.
And that was the
Battery
backup
got
camera,
swollen.
and the battery got so swollen that it's like fucking stuck.
He
in
must
there.
have had an excitement.
That's why I have to keep telling you.
I'm not even kidding you. So what
How does a
happens
battery get swollen?
when it gets
Well, if you
charged
rub it the
too
right
much?
way, it's...
When it gets
Yeah.
charged too much.
If you woo the battery.
Nothing like a
Who's the
swollen-
battery fluffer? Who's the battery?
Battery fluffer.
That's great. We need a battery.
Need a battery fluffer.
Speaking of battery fluffers, on our casting couch today at the Breaking Bread podcast, welcome back, is Lou Greco and Carlo Russo. They are the Uncle Louie Variety Show. They are outstanding stand-up comedians in their right. I wanted to have them on with myself and Anthony Sciarratta.
What's going on?
For the longest time. They're dear friends of mine. And they have one of the best stage shows I think you could see right now. As far as like a real variety show, in the sense that it's not just stand-up comedy. There's skits, there's songs. The music is incredible. That's coming from someone who does music for a living. There's not a lot of people who play the accordion anymore. And yet, here comes Lou with the big
dying art.
Piano.
yeah, with the
It's a
big
dying
yeah.
art.
And you know what, Lou? Thank God you're all jacked up, because you could hold that thing. That's a big accordion.
It is, and that's all I do. I don't work out. It's just like I
Just play the accordion.
Just in and out.
Let me tell
His
you
gym
like,
is an
you know?
accordion store. Yeah.
How'd you learn how to play the accordion? Is that like something you've been doing your whole life?
No, I asked my father when I was 6 years old, can I play the guitar? And he said, you could play the accordion.
Really?
And I said, yeah, can I
He
play
hated
the
you,
trumpet?
huh?
Can I play the trumpet? He said, you could play the accordion.
That is the most zip
So I
thing
played
I've
the
ever
accordion.
heard.
That's it. I got away with playing the saxophone too a little bit because my uncle played saxophone. So I got into that, but he wouldn't invest in anything other than that accordion.
So he went out and bought you an accordion?
I have a Paolo Soprani accordion that costs probably
No one knows what that
$1,100 50 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
That thing, and what happened was one time we were in Cleveland, and
Don't touch me.
the reeds came off the accordion because it was so cold in the car. I went to accordion dealer. Believe it or not, he was 87 years old.
You went to an accordion dealer?
He was
Accordion
87
deal-
years old. It was
There's
like doing
dealers?
drugs. There's only one in the city, right? So I get over there and I go, what is this? I just need to replace this accordion. How much does it cost? He goes, this one will be about $14,000.
No.
Wait,
That's
what?
when I swallowed my tongue.
Yeah, we killed him after
I
that.
brought
The
it
guy's-
back. It is now in my closet, polished. I got to bring it somewhere. So if there's anybody out there that fixes accordions,
Under
please.
$14,000?
Yeah, please.
Wait a minute. He
Give us a
really
call.
tried to charge you $14,000?
No, he
No, it's
said
worth
to replace it to
replace
get
it.
one exactly like
Oh.
mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would be
oh.
about
He needs to repair it.
$14,000.
He can't replace it.
It is that good of an accordion, which I had no idea.
How'd you learn?
I went to Paul Ferenz in Syracuse. I went to lessons.
Shout out to
Yes, I
Paul.
did.
He's
Shout out
dead.
to Paul Ferenz. He's passed away since.
His family, at least.
His family. And
He's dead. Shout out to him.
big shout out.
Shout out.
But yeah, I went
Either
to
way.
lessons, and they were absolutely brutal. Because
Yeah,
I
it's an
play by
accordion.
ear. I play by ear. So it's not like I can read music, but I play by ear. You know, and so I would be like, do the wrong note. He goes, that's wrong. No, I know. That's basically how my lessons.
Doesn't your head get in the way?
That's like a testament to like your talent to be able to play by ear. I mean, I can't play anything by ear.
I have to do that with piano
I can't
and
even hear
everything.
by
Yeah, that's what I mean. I barely hear things.
Yeah.
So
I got to do that with piano and everything else. Like melody and music and vocals is different. You know, I mean, it's different from playing an instrument, you know.
But it's just the depth and breadth of your musical talent is pretty incredible, and the both of you.
Don't try to butter me up.
No,
20 minutes in the interview, talk to
Butter
me.
me up if you.
Carlo, I'm serious. I'm serious. To watch these guys
When are
sing,
we out of here?
to watch these guys sing harmony and play instruments, you know, an hour into a show that you've been laughing your ass off at is really special. It's not something that I think exists elsewhere. and especially not in this niche of comedy.
There's nothing like, and we've always talked, Carl and I. There is nothing like getting out there and just seeing people they're ready for you before we even say a word. They're like this, eyes open. They're smiling. They're waiting for what's coming out. You know, there's no feeling like that in the world. You know, and then you give it to them. You get, you know, you perform, and they're just laughing. One lady's crying in the front at this one place. We stopped. Like, are you okay? Both of us were like, are you okay? Are you okay? No, tears of joy. My father just passed. You know, it's just crazy.
I said, well,
you
you're
know?
screwing up the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dad's not here, so relax.
So it's a lot of fun. That's what makes it.
Hey, Carlo, that speed lends itself to your history in live performing. You've been at it in so many different mediums for a while.
Yeah, no, I started my first time in front of an audience. I was probably 10 years old.
So you have a lifetime of doing this.
Yeah, I was 10 years
I
old.
didn't know that about it.
We lived next door to a gentleman that was the chief of the fire department, and every year he would be involved with the Jerry Lewis Telethon. So what we would do is every year we would put on a play for the neighborhood. And all the money we collected, we would give to the Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were one of Jerry's kids.
Well,
It's close.
I was there. So 10 years old, yeah, I would start. I performed. I think I did an Elvis. I'm a big Elvis fan, so I played Elvis, and my cousins were the background girls dancing. So yeah, as early as that, I was in front of people.
Now you get arrested for that. So the kids in front of them.
Oh, okay. I don't know how you spend your weekends, but okay. But yeah, as early as 10 years old, I knew this is something that I'm comfortable with. And then I started playing guitar because my dad wanted me to be cool and didn't give me an accordion. So,
Yeah.
But no, I brought home a guitar for $5,
Yeah.
and I just kept strumming it. And my dad one day, I remember it was dinner time, and he stops everything because I was just making noise. And he goes, I'm going to give you two options. I go, one option, you're going to get lessons. Second option, you're going to throw it away. That's all you got. What do you want? I said, well, if you're paying, you know.
Yeah.
So I took lessons from an 80-year-old guy. We only have 80-year-old guys in Syracuse teaching people things.
I was going to say this.
Shout out to Joe.
No,
He's dead.
it's not that. It's because our fathers always knew some guy.
Well, no, shout out
You
to
know?
Joe's family.
There's a lot of common
Or his
themes
family.
here.
I know this guy Joe. He's 80 years old.
Yeah.
It costs $5.
You're gonna love him.
He's
So
been charging the same thing since
right,
1972.
he was yeah.
Now, of course, the guitar isn't as much of a chick magnet like the accordion.
No, girls hated me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they
I can
hated a guy
imagine.
playing guitar. Oh, they said, "Do you play accordion or sax?"
You know,
I said, "No."
that's the first thing
But
that
my
went
friend
through my
does.
head. Because, like, when I was a kid, I tried to learn to play the guitar. I really couldn't do it. But I, like, wanted one to, like, get girls. And he's like, I got an accordion, and you look like you get girls.
you
You know,
have-
you're a
you have
freaking
a-
big guy. Play the
No,
accordion
I
and
get
shit.
no. It's okay.
When he played the accordion,
Back in
wait a
the
minute.
day-
When he played the accordion, he didn't look like that.
I was the fat little kid.
He was
in,
the fat guy.
elementary school with an accordion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
My
don't you
accordion
have a
was like
guitar?
this. My accordion.
Don't you
I
have a
was the
guitar?
chubby kid with the
Yeah, I do.
baritone horn.
Yes.
Wasn't
Right.
gonna
I
be
play
any
guitar,
favorite
but
either.
not, like, good.
No, you drunkenly tried to play it with us when we had people over
was
at the
drunk.
house when we were living in West
Is
Babylon.
this guy part of the? Does he need to talk?
This is Greg. He
Oh,
just chimes in.
Chime in.
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know if you were allowed to talk or not.
Yeah.
Need permission. Where's Joe? Joe's dead.
You're not on camera, so I don't know if the off-camera people can talk or eat or drink or anything.
No, he's been
He's
permitted
good?
to breathe.
I love you.
You know, to function, just not into the microphone. But Tony, has been here for a long time though. He's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was.
So
Tony's our manager. He can't speak English. Shout out to Tony. He is not dead.
Tony.
Tony's still alive.
Tony is still with us.
it's not
In
as
the
heavy,
teens
his
when he got
accent.
here,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's like
it's definitely
13
not
or
as heavy.
14
Yeah.
years old,
And yeah.
and he's still got a heavy
God bless him.
Sicilian accent.
Yeah.
But if he didn't, it wouldn't
a
be
very
the
deep
same.
voice.
If Tony spoke perfect English, it wouldn't be the same.
I think
He
it's
doesn't
great.
look like he speaks
I
perfect
think
English.
I think it's great
look-
that the
no.
guy. I think it's great that the guy that books you has a very heavy Italian accent.
yeah, and we don't.
And then
that's
you meet you
perfect.
guys, and you don't have a very
Yeah.
heavy Italian accent.
Right.
It's sort of like the guy that books me has a last name Mafia.
yeah,
You meet me, and I'm a very nice guy.
very nice.
You know. But Carlo, was it you that was doing stand up first?
He did.
Oh, it was Lou. that
Yeah,
was doing
he
stand-up
did it.
first.
He did it like when we were 21, 21,
Yeah, I
22
did it.
years
I
old.
did it a few times. It was great. And then I went.
He retired.
I'm not making any money here. Yeah. My father goes, "You make any money?" No, I just went up. Okay, good job. Yeah.
He did it twice. I'm not a millionaire yet. What the hell? I gotta go.
We did
That's so
when you're
Italian.
doing 5 minutes and you're doing like open mics and everything else. It was fun, but it was something that I was always like, look, I gotta buy.
Felt like a waste of time.
I gotta buy a car.
buy a car.
You know?
What is it with the old timers and money? Like you have to do something once, and like, oh, you make
mean-
money yet?
Right, yeah.
Like,
I think the one thing like back in
You
the
get
day,
paid.
I
yeah.
feel like in Italy, they didn't need money for anything.
yeah.
And still, yeah,
and
they all
just did
lived.
it.
You just
It's
lived.
like let's
Yeah.
go to the town square.
Well,
and
everybody's
act.
got their great grandfather's pension. They're still getting.
Yeah, right,
I mean, it's like
exactly.
the guy's been dead for 50 years. He's still getting a pension.
It might be
Sounds like
because-
Italy.
It might be because they're coming here for the American dream. So it's like to make money,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
prosper, So it's
I think
always
it's-
on their mind. Like, did
they
you make
needed a
money?
lot
Are we
more.
making money?
That's what's really like inspiring about your show is I remember the first time I saw it. My Nono's best friend, he's a big Albanian guy. Showed me the video, and it was you with the guitar, and you were singing a song. I think it was Poo Poo Kosovitu.
Yeah.
yeah,
Goes
yeah.
with Medusa song.
Yeah, I love that. But
Yeah, gotta bring that back.
it was really it was like inspiring because at that time you grow up in an immigrant house and you don't think that the rest of the world can kind of relate to you.
Yeah.
Right.
But for the fact that your show is so popular, it really says otherwise.
And for so many years.
Right.
Yeah.
For what were we saying, 15 years now? 16
Yeah.
years? Something like that?
Because we all grew up the same. We all, if you grew up old school, I mean, everybody's.
we all have the
I
same
mean, I was
stories.
11 years old. My father ran a coffee shop. I was 11 years old. I had to run it from right after school, ride my bike, get over there, sit behind the bar, and run a gambling operation for the next 7 hours.
That's definitely where you got all your material.
Just the front desk of a
11 years old. And
Coffee
here's
shop.
the thing. I'm also serving alcohol. 11.
yeah.
He goes, listen, Louie, underneath over there, you got it any sight, okay? It's a bottle wrapped in duct tape. This is what, and this was the thing. The old guys would go, Louie. That was it. That was the little hand gesture. Oh, Louie. Right? Grab the duct tape shit, drop it an anisette in there, and that was extra $1 in the register.
There you go.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm a freaking bartender, 11 years old.
He's racketeering. What do you mean?
So I'm
He's
running
right.
books. I'm running the books, Louis, the consummation. That's what they call it, the consummation. I don't know why.
What's the
It's over there,
consummation?
the book. It's if you win. So 4 guys are playing. They play as a team.
Wait, isn't consummation something that you do after marriage?
That's
Right.
That's what I thought he meant. I'm
consummate
like,
every
Right.
okay.
That's why I didn't understand. I'm like, this is a consummation. Now, I
get
think
better.
what he wants
you,
to say
Carl.
I was gonna say it sounds fun, Carlo. Good for you.
What I probably think he's making the consolation prize.
Oh,
For
consolation.
playing, right? Really? He said the consummation. Okay? So 2 guys lose. They pay $1.25 each.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys win a box of cookies or some other shit. The $2.50 comes to me and it goes in the thing. Or if they don't get the cookies, I gotta open the books and go, okay, Augie gets this one.
Yeah.
So and some of them have
got
5 because they
books.
just save it up and then
You
they
got
get it.
2
At the end.
Stella Dora cookies.
Yeah.
Rocco.
Keeping
I
track of everything.
saw 2 90-year-olds play.
yeah.
Okay, they get up. I'm sitting there now. Now he knows the story, right? These guys are like they're standing next to each other, and I'm doing my homework. I look up, and one guy's just like this. I'm doing my homework at the bar. I'm 11.
At the bar.
Who
So-
babysits you?
He goes like this. All of a sudden, he starts shaking his. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening, right? So I'm watching this, literally, couple minutes, right? And he's rising, and he's rising, and he's rising, and then he clamps onto the other guy's neck and starts choking him on the pool table. I'm going, Jesus Christ, what's else? I ran over there, pulled these guys for $1.25. He
Yeah.
was going to go to jail. 90 years old.
They were
I
consummating.
believe that.
No, they were having.
They wanted to consummate.
were
They
having
were
that-
consummating for about 3 hours.
I'm
They were
like,
Sicilian, weren't they?
I was ready to pull $1.25.
No,
on
they
this.
knew if they were
Like I
going to
say.
have that fight in your father's place, no one was going to jail.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's fun? I could have made $1 million over there.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking back then. You learned.
Could have sold.
You were 11.
You could have sold
So-
Lucy's and cigars at the bar.
I could have bought a Ferrari at 15 years old, okay? I was there. I would
Could've
have
bought
to
two
answer the
accordions.
A
phone.
lot of Stella Dora cookies.
Listen, all the place is full. The place is full with people. It's loud, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Smoke, everything else. All of a sudden, the phone rings. There's a payphone.
Oh, yeah.
Phone rings. Everything's down.
I'm not
Hello?
here.
Hello? Yes, Antonio. Antonio, it's over there. Antonio Macho Battista.
No.
I see him right there. No, he's not here. Thank you. And I answer. I could have been like 10, 20. 20? 20. Okay. I can't. You know how much
There's no
money I
rats
could've
in
had
that.
my
There's
pocket?
no rats in that building.
You know what?
Pay for it, yeah.
They're all rats, those guys. They would have given your ass. You would have said no.
They did
They
it
would have
for free.
shoved you right in the
They
freaking
did it
ass.
for free.
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how similar. Well, how exactly the same the Italian American experience was in all different parts of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you think it might not even be in that area.
Because
It's the
you know,
same,
I grew up in New York.
Yeah.
Right. I think people who grew up in New Jersey are way different than us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
here you guys grew up in Syracuse, in the middle of Western New York.
Canada.
Yeah, basically.
I only associate that as Canada, by the
Yeah.
way.
Why? Because we say it or just
There is a
No, no,
specific
it is.
core
Just
for
in
all
my
of
head,
us.
I'm like, it's upstate,
Right.
it's Canada.
But with the same experience, with the same cultural experience.
Oh yeah,
Great
absolutely.
stories like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How old are you guys when you meet?
We were well,
14,
we knew each
15?
other in in middle school, but we started hanging out in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So we went to Grant together. We knew of but we started hanging out. Now
14 years
13,
old?
14, 13, yeah. Our fathers knew each other because he would be in that bar
Yeah.
going, "I'm not here," when my
Yes.
mother called. So they knew each other. So when we started hanging out, we're like, "Oh, you know them?" So we knew the same people.
Yeah.
But by 9th grade, we were in. We were writing and getting in trouble together.
Cable
and-
access
yeah,
shows
we-
and
Really?
that grew into that. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
cable
As
access.
early as 14.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we were doing
Try to
skits.
do this
Cable
shit.
access shows
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah,
I didn't
VHS
know
tapes.
this.
I didn't know that.
VHS tapes. Cutting on a VHS.
We were making
tape.
our own.
Try that.
We were making our own shows.
And what
on
do you
tapes
what kind of show is it? Is it the Uncle
It
Louie
wasn't
Variety
Italian at
Show?
all.
It wasn't
It was
Italian
not
at all.
Italian.
No.
It was what we're Mighty Python fans, so it was a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Even dress up. We've always had it in us to do sketches and
Yeah.
So we didn't know that it was gonna appear
Morph
again
into this
now,
thing.
morph into this. But we've always wanted to write sketches. We grew up with the variety shows.
Because
back in the
it's-
day, they were all on TV.
That's so
what we
cool,
grew up
though. I
with.
mean,
There's
that's really
quite
cool.
some time in between,
right,
that
there's marriage,
part of your
kids,
lives
and yeah.
and this.
But
So
we
what-
always kept going. That was the thing. Louie and I never stopped doing good. Even when we didn't live in
Yeah.
the same cities or states, we would get together
Right.
and we would make videos. when
Louis
we
lived
come
in
back.
Massachusetts for a
Yeah.
while.
Everywhere, yeah. He's a yeah.
I was all over the place.
Yeah.
Florida,
Down
Massachusetts.
here, right?
New Jersey.
You mentioned a town down here you used to come to.
Lawrenceville. I lived in Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
Where's
For
Lawrenceville?
2 years.
Jersey.
I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was all
Peabody,
over.
Massachusetts.
Same job.
Yeah.
Because
What was the
I had
job?
to stay 25 years. I was selling
Accordions.
retail fitness equipment. Yeah, I sold accordions to monkeys.
Oh, here comes the accordion guy. Somebody humor
So,
him.
I sold commercial. I sold retail fitness equipment for about 15 years to 20.
That
Actually,
job makes
25
sense
years.
for you. Now,
And then
all
commercial
this makes
fitness
sense to
equipment.
me.
Right.
Retail
And then
fitness.
commercial fitness equipment, 25 years. And then this thing happened, and Tony's like,
name is
look,
Carlo.
look, I can go 60 shows this year. And I'm like, I can't go to work or do 60 shows. So I took a pay cut and jumped on it because I don't want to regret anything in my life. So we did it.
Don't want to regret.
Start rolling, and man, it was unbelievable.
And Carlo, what are you doing when you
When I was
guys
doing this, I was
start
in
back up?
retail sales my whole life as well.
What'd you
managing-
sell?
Just anything. I worked. I was a manager at Staples, manager at Office Max. At the time, there was a Eckerd drugstore, which turned into it was like it's now
remember
like
those.
a Walgreens
Eckerd,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So I managed that, and then I got into banking. So I did banking for a while, and I just decided when we were doing this, let's just jump in.
And
You have to jump in.
all the while, you guys are cooking. You
Yeah.
guys are creating. You guys.
We
are coming
always
up.
we always created our goal thing was like, let's get the video out and make a video.
How often would you guys perform an act? Maybe not the variety show, but just an act together through. If you think about it, what's the span between high school graduation and the Uncle Louie Variety Show? It's like 10 years, 15 years, something like that.
20 years, 25.
28 years, something like that.
Wow.
We did.
I mean,
He's
the
like
beginning.
15.
The beginning.
From the beginning,
From the
it
end
was-
of
High school.
VHS, PBS,
Right.
public access specials to the beginning to the first night of the Uncle Louie Variety Show.
So we like after high school. Yeah, after high school, he moved.
25 years.
He moved. He went to Florida
Right.
and this and that. So we were separate, right? And we did our. He was going to school, and I went to school, and then we have our own lives going. I stayed in Syracuse, and I started something with another friend of mine. I still talk to. It was kind of like this kind of idea, like the Uncle Louie thing, but more like a talk show. It was called The Two Italian Guys.
Yeah.
So I did that for 10 years on public access, and we got through Syracuse, and we were doing maybe that's what you were thinking about. I was working. I worked with Joe Piscopo when we did the Landmark Theater in Syracuse. We had this thing called the Sammys. It's like the Grammys, but for the
Yes.
area. So I was doing that stuff with that, and it was kind of Italian based. So and he was doing his stuff. He was doing stuff with movies and shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but we would always get together. But on stage, it didn't happen until the Uncle Louie Variety Show. That was the first time we were on stage because everything else was either video or public access or stuff like that.
Always
Never a
did mostly
stage.
videos, but anytime we went out to a bar, we were on.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was almost like an improv.
I'm saying
Nobody
you
said
can't-
that
for an hour
you
and a
can't
half.
sit in a hotel lobby at 8 o'clock in the morning with these guys without them starting a volley.
Yeah.
In front of you and involving
Well,
you.
you were seeing that in the car on the way here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been with you guys where I had nothing left to give
Right.
in the morning, like no energy
And
whatsoever.
you're quick yourself.
And
yeah.
the two of you are just like foaming at the mouth at each like chomping.
Yeah,
at the
it's
bit.
more like, there's a difference in being on and just like, Jesus, can you just shut
No,
up?
no,
I don't know.
And
I
then
know you're mad.
there's
I'm not
also
gonna lie.
just going back and forth like a normal
Anthony's
volley.
not gonna lie. Hold on.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie. When I first met you guys, I literally and I'm not saying this just like to say it. I couldn't stop laughing, and I didn't want to hear you not talk. Like everything that came out of your mouth was funny. Like we were, Greg.
That's
you should have
hilarious.
seen this.
My wife would never say that.
We were in the car like this, all of us in the back seat. Me, him, and Carlo. I was sweating bullets in this tiny BMW, but it was great. We were hysterical laughing. He was passed out sleeping. Me and Carlo were cracking up the whole time.
So good.
Sean and Sal were in like the front seat. It was literally. It was in Chicago.
Yeah.
When we went for the Columbus Day Parade, we had a blast. It was a really good
That
time.
was a good weekend.
It was a
Whatever
really
it
good
was, that was
weekend.
awesome.
Like
The
I
whole
started
Uncle
it.
Louie variety show, it's just started as basically my father's reaction to just stupid shit. That's why they were all mad. Because we're all worried about bullshit.
Right.
They weren't. They were worried about money, roof over the head, bills paid, right? And food on the table.
What's for dinner?
And family,
Yeah.
right? Everything
Annis
else
that was
is
underneath.
bullshit. So we'd come in, my girlfriend left. Get the fuck out of here. Well, who give a shit? Who give a shit? That's why they're all mad. It's like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So my father's perpetual face for me was the facciacazz, they called. Okay, the facciacazz is this.
Dick face.
So every time I walked in with an idea or something, that's the face I had to look at. So you have to rethink what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you go in.
Yeah.
So that was his constant. Even his dog gave me that face. Even fucking Raymond.
His dog's name was Raymond.
Raymond from Ray Romano.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, everybody
Why
loves
would
Raymond.
everybody-
Everybody like a Raymond. And that's why I
That was
call
one
him
of
the
our
dog.
things. Why would he name his dog? Everybody love
The
Raymond.
dog had a fucking passport.
He did.
It's amazing.
What?
We had a picture
Our
of his
first show.
passport.
To go to Italy.
Dude, our first
come
show,
here.
we
Oh, to
blew
come
up the
here.
passport, poster size, hilarious, and we had it
You
on
can get a
stage.
dog a passport?
Oh yeah, he's like,
Are you serious?
yeah.
To bring him here.
Yeah. He's scared shitless.
He had a
It's
middle
like
name.
they put him in a corner.
Yeah.
Raymond, smile. Fuck.
So what? And I'm sure your parents had to inspire some of this as well, Carlo.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's my thing comes from. He grew up a little bit different because his mother speaks English, even though she was born in Italy.
Yeah.
She speaks English, and father speaks broken English enough to, not Italian is in the house all the time in their house.
Right.
Where in my house, no one spoke English. My mom and dad don't speak English.
Group B, right?
So Group B, there's Group A, how you grow up with, and so I grew up with, translating and have to be like, have to bring them places and be the voice and the ears and all that for my parents. So my comedy comes from more of me living through this, the 7-year-old kid going to the doctor's office with my parents, or my own, parent-teacher conferences, or, all that stuff. That's where my humor comes from, being that guy that had to write the checks at 7 years old for the mortgage, So I was talking about premiums in the playground with kids, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Insurance is going crazy. It's going crazy. We got to get
You
insurance."
were basically learning everything that.
Yeah. I was being an
would
adult.
have to
I was
do.
an adult.
Yeah.
There was no childhood. So that's where my stories come from. More that humor of that. Growing up, being an adult at 7 years old. So you get the humor from there. So we have a different thing where his father is a big part of the show because of the accents. All the shit he said. Where my father didn't have accent. He just spoke Italian. So you really can't have that part in there.
Right.
So you kind of have to go another route.
Go
my route?
Was it always the variety show in the sense that it was the skits and the stand-up
Always.
mixed in?
Yep.
And
We
what about the
decided to
music?
do the variety show because with a variety show, you can do whatever the hell you want
do whatever.
on stage.
You could
It
switch
doesn't.
it up.
That's true.
Whatever comes out, that's the variety show. I
Right.
mean, if I want to have little people run around in little cars around me while I sing,
Little people.
little star,
I don't know what that was.
whatever,
So how scripted is it though?
It's scripted.
Is the whole thing totally scripted, or do you go out there on some days and you go completely off script?
There's some that's scripted, and then we go off script. In the beginning, it's scripted, but
you have to
it
know where
allows
to go.
us to go off script
Yeah.
and catch the gold and
then-
bring it back into the
And
script.
then go into
Okay.
the script.
So if
That
you
makes
see
sense.
a sketch from the
'Cause you're
first
with-
time we do it
Yeah.
to the end of the year, it's a
Different.
different animal. by the
Because you're
end.
with a live audience.
Right.
There's
And-
things you could try. There's things you could explore.
And as you know, we work with the audience.
Yeah.
There's a
So
lot
there's
of
a lot of
interaction.
a
improv.
lot of back
too.
and forth.
So that adds a joke here and there. Going, oh, okay, let's keep that one.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the show, I mean, you got stand up, you got sketches, we got improv, we got songs.
Was there always music?
Yes,
Always.
Always music.
So this is the breakdown. When we started this, we were doing a minute and a half video of the broken English Italian words of the day. He would do them with his father's accent, and we would put it on Facebook. At that time, we didn't have our channel. We had nothing. So we would put it on our normal, everyday Facebook with our friends and family, right? So that kind of grew into something, 10 views, 11 views, and you have your cousins or friends go, "Oh, that was a funny video put out last week. Oh, that was great." So we did this a couple of times, and it was picking up a little steam. Not huge, but just enough. A friend of ours owns a restaurant. She calls us up. She goes, "Hey, I love your stuff. If you ever think about doing a show, I have a restaurant. I would love to host you guys. You think you could do that?" Of course, in the business, you always say yes, right? Say, absolutely. We'll do a 2-hour show. Now we have a minute and a half video, right? We're going to 2-hour show. Lucky for us, we have a friend that was at the same time doing what we were doing. He was trying to get gigs at bars. He was doing Frank Sinatra stuff, and so we thought, oh my God, let's get him involved. He can do music in between our little sketches.
Were you guys in costumes already at that point? First
We were
show?
only in Uncle Louie and
Yeah.
nephew costume. That's it. And he was only that. Again, this is coming from a minute and a half video, and now we have to come up with a 2-hour show. So we thought, if we put Frank, shout out to Frank, he's still alive. If we put Frank to do 5 songs in between, some Italian songs and stuff like that, then we can come back with these 5 sketches that are different. Now we created a show. So that was the first look of the Uncle Louie
Yeah,
Variety
the
Show.
transition is very important. You don't want
Yes.
anybody out there in the crowd waiting 2 minutes for you to change.
Right. You always want
That's
something.
why it was a smooth. That's how
I
we
mean,
write.
Now there's 6 different costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how we got Pasqualino.
And there's just two of you, and it flows so smoothly.
I actually thought that
Tell
you
me
were
about-
related.
Yeah.
I thought you were really related.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but the
We
way you
used to-
guys
listen,
act.
every time we went out to bars, it was a back and forth. We had people believing we were hitting cows. Remember that one? These girls are like, "Oh my god, yeah, we hit this cow. We had to cut it in half with the saw.
Yeah.
and then we had to
We came up with a
yank
whole
part of it into the woods. They're like mesmerized. So we should do this stuff.
Just practicing improv
Yeah,
with
Yeah,
strangers.
just improv with everybody.
That's amazing.
That's
Come up
And,
with fake stories and
Oh, it's hilarious.
need to wear a
let's,
GoPro
Let's
and
see
some
how,
of that.
how
Me
far
and
we
my,
can
me
go
and
with
my
this.
friends used to make up a story about how, and this is ripped off from the Wedding Crashers, about how one of us was accidentally became the president of a large maple syrup
Sure.
conglomerate in Vermont. You know, and then it would build on that. We'd try to find something more ridiculous every time.
Yes.
Yeah,
You guys
that's
are just
it.
improv.
We just do that. Yeah, yeah.
Absolute
That's hysterical.
yeah,
Yep.
we'll do that.
What is it with the, like, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, encountered this. Why is there so much hate between, like, the Italians in Italy and, like, what we do here? Like, our kind of comedy and, like, you know, I feel like, to be honest with you, maybe I'm an asshole. I feel like our culture is kind of perfected to theirs.
Your experience is unique. you
Yeah.
know? So you get Italians in Italy watching your stuff, finding
Yeah.
your stuff through social media,
Yeah.
going, you know, and totally missing the point.
We have a lot of fans in Italy. We do.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people in Italy that absolutely love the show. Somebody said they went to a little cafe bar, and I've got the number of the place at home. But they said that the owner of the shop go, "Oh, Uncle Louie, they love us, right?"
Yeah.
But there are certain people in Italy that just, "Oh, you guys aren't real Italians. You're Italian
You mean
American."
there are Italians with a stick up their ass?
Oh
Yeah.
my
No,
God!
no, I've
it's
never heard of that.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is, you know, we look at the motherland with
Yeah.
reverence,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
All of us do, because that's our roots.
Yeah.
Right? But they look at the people that came here, killed themselves,
Yeah.
built another country, which they should be proud
And
of.
represented their culture in whatever
But I don't
in
think they're
whatever
thinking that
lens,
deep.
through whatever lens they
Right.
represent their
I don't think
culture.
they- I
They,
don't think
they
they're
just
thinking
hold
that
their
deep.
noses up.
They're-
Like,
they're-
I just don't. I
I
just
don't think
never
they
understood
understand.
It.
I don't think they understand the how much culture there is in America.
Well, you
how,
have to-
and how ever evolving the
But-
culture of
Yeah.
immigrants is here in America, and how strong.
But we think that because
It's
we're
stayed,
here and we're
yeah.
proud of that. But to them, we're just people that left our country. So they might have something going.
Well, then they're
you
uneducated about
couldn't
that.
stick it out.
Yeah, we
you
left-
you left the country
Yeah.
you were born in. I mean, you might have a little bit of that, you know, like people going, "Oh, okay, you're going to call yourself Italian."
Maybe there's a sense of.
I think
maybe there's a
they're
sense of
very
envy.
uneducated on
My
that. If
grandmother-
they want to
They're
come
not.
over here to make a better life for themselves, you know, you leave.
My
Of course.
grandmother
Yeah.
lived through.
I'm
World
saying the
War-
people that didn't.
My
might know-
grandmother lived through World War II in Italy,
Yeah.
and saw like,
Sure.
okay, my
country,
country
yeah.
wasn't able to save us. This country was.
Yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
we got to go.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity, and there's work.
Hey, listen, you're always going to get people that don't agree with what you're doing, love what you're doing, and it's the same thing, right? How do you hate something and the other person loves something and it's the same thing?
Yeah.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
But it
and-
does bother you a little more.
It's
that-
more. It's
It really
more
doesn't.
that. It's more that they just.
I feel like
don't-
me and Lou, it bothers
You
us.
guys are
Yeah.
mad.
They
and I'm
just
the
don't
only
get
immigrant
it.
in this fucking room.
Yeah, they don't get it.
The people in Italy are wonderful.
They're beautiful.
Especially if you try.
Except that one assoul on the
If I
mountain.
try to,
Look at us
if I try to
trying to
speak
come back
Italian,
to them now.
if I
We
try to
love
speak,
them.
if I try to speak Italian, right,
Uh-huh.
and I say something wrong, in America, they're all over it.
Right.
If I try to speak Italian in Italy, they'll try their best to speak English to me because
Right.
they're just so
Yeah.
they're so humble that I
Yes.
try to speak
Yeah.
Italian to them.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not talking about all the. It's
No.
just that one asshole on the fucking
Greg
mountain
is.
with his goat. Fuck you, you're not a real Italian.
Mountain with his goat.
Out of here. You know, so, but
That's not his goat. That's his wife.
oh my God. But for the most part,
That's
Got a
lunch.
bigger beard than him.
Savage.
but for the
Shut your
most,
goat
for
up,
the
it's my
most
wife.
With the
For the
arm.
most part, 99.9% of the people know we're just putting smiles on faces.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Just laugh. Have
Yeah.
fun. Don't be an asshole.
We had a name for them in my family. They were called the Wellies.
The wellies?
The Wellies.
Explain.
Like, you know, like the Italian girls with like the armpit hair and like the mustaches. Jesus Christ.
You're talking about every cousin I know.
Every cousin. Yeah. The Wellies.
That's the thing. You know, it's like, look, we're just putting smiles on faces, man.
Yeah.
We're reminding people where they came from. We're not making fun. We're celebrating who we are.
Yeah.
If you're ashamed of it, don't tell me that, oh, there's no Italians like that. No, you're just ashamed.
We're all that lady in the front row crying because you're bringing back
Yeah.
Right.
something
Absolutely.
so special
100%.
to us. So that's such a big piece of who we are because of who we were raised by and around.
Absolutely.
Speaking of people so easily being able to relate to your comedy, it's not, you guys have been able to take the same stories, with some adjustment for Canada, all over the country and all over the world. And you're having the same reactions. That's how
Yeah.
it's a very, very relatable concept.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why it works.
Yeah.
Speaking of the road, I have been honored to spend a lot of time on the road with the Uncle Louie Variety Show, with Lou and Carlo.
Ditto.
First of all, you want to talk about two guys with some of the best chemistry, either on or off stage, that ever lived.
Oh my God, 100%.
You're-
100%.
Think about Carlo. If your parents didn't come here,
Yeah.
if your parents didn't come here and decide on Syracuse of all places, that you
Right.
two might not have ever met.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you two are so incredibly meant for each other. It really is an amazing thing to witness firsthand. But I think another thing that's been amazing for me that's taught me so much is how incredibly resilient you guys are on the road. How, I mean, just like to watch two guys never get tired, ever. No, seriously, like
Oh,
In
you
front of
guys
people.
don't get
in
tired.
front of people.
in front of people.
I experienced that firsthand.
Yeah.
You guys
It's an Italian love story next on the Hallmark Channel.
It really is. It really is a love story. That there is a real
a bromance.
a bromance.
A
yes.
bromance.
All right, relax, everybody.
right,
I
my
can't
No,
stand
there
the
is
guy.
Right now.
I do believe that
No, did-
that soulmates aren't just romantic partners.
Right, no.
That-
Absolutely.
That you two are truly soulmates in the fact that you guys were born to make comedy together.
Yeah,
and make music together.
Yeah, we obviously had to meet somehow, right? I mean, this had to happen. Us not stopping with no agenda. We had no agenda. When we started this, we were like, oh my God, we're gonna be touring the world. No, we just wanted to make each other laugh. Actually, that's what. When we make each other laugh, we're like gold.
We
Put
know
that on.
we know
Put
what
that
we
on.
write. If I'm on the floor and he's on the floor laughing, we have this thing called, you didn't see it, I don't think, it's the New York State Fair bit. Wait till tonight. The New York State Fair had us, we're literally rolling.
For those of you who don't know, the New York State Fair happens in Syracuse.
Yes.
Yep.
We're right down the road from our house.
Yeah.
Those of you, for all you New Yorkers that don't
For all the
know,
New Yorkers
York
that
State-
don't
Yeah,
know
there's
what
a
the
lot
New
of
York-
New Yorkers who don't know
Oh,
where
we
the New
know.
York
That's
State
what the
Fair
sketch is.
What do they do? They
That's what the
show-
sketch is about. Yeah.
They like showcase cows or something.
No.
It's like a sculpture of butter. My father's like, what? They do all this shit. What are they going to do now?
Italians
They're
are
going to
there
throw
with
them out? What the fuck
Italian
is the matter
bread
with these
just
people?
carving it. But that's what we do. If we make ourselves laugh, we know because we've been together for so long. If it's still making us laugh, it's got to be something.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
it's
hit
gotta be something.
punchlines and we'll be like, eh. If one of us doesn't like a
Absolutely.
punchline, it's no good.
There's no ceiling to what
No.
to what you guys could do.
No.
I mean, seriously,
We're gonna be putting this this tour together. The
Yeah.
Wooden Spoon Survivor Tour is coming up.
2025. You
Yeah.
guys are going not only to Detroit and Cleveland and all the usual
All the
spots,
states that- yeah, yeah.
Florida, Boca, Long Island, but you guys are going to Australia.
Yeah.
Back to Australia. The
Australia,
second time.
all through
Yeah.
Canada, and
all through coast to coast in Canada.
yeah.
Yeah, we were blessed to do Vancouver,
Yeah.
Calgary this year, Kamloops, and we all through Canada and back to Australia, which is such a weird thing for us. A quick story, like I said, we were 13, 14-year-old kids together, and we went through life. And we were sitting in our hotel in Melbourne, Australia, and we got in there. We opened up the door, and we were sitting on the balcony, and we were looking at the park, and we just looked at each other and go, "How the hell did we end up here?"
Yeah.
That was crazy. That feeling that came over us, going, "We're playing in Australia."
Yeah. And the funniest, honestly, the
nuts.
funniest shit happens off stage.
Oh yeah.
Literally there, we're looking at a park, right?
It's literally in
We
front
go
of us.
down like, I want to go through the park. Let's walk through the park, see what's going on. We walk out. We take a right. I don't see any park. All I see is we take another right. I don't see any park. This is like we're in the city. I take another right. I go, where is this freaking park?
We finally get back to the hotel.
All the way around the hotel. We go inside. Well, excuse me. We see a park from our
room.
I don't understand. She goes, oh, that one?
You mean that one?
Literally, right
It
across
was
the
straight
street.
out of the door.
Right across the street. Yeah, we're
So
idiots.
I don't know
Thanks.
how we
Appreciate it.
survive. We always say that with what we don't know, to get this far is a surprise. I
Gotta
mean,
give them the elevator story.
you can.
We had to give them the elevator
yeah.
story.
Okay,
So we're
let's hear
there,
it.
the same place. These people thought we were just idiots, right?
And they would be right.
They're from America.
I think the hotel stories are the best with you guys.
Oh, God, and you've been.
There's so many of them.
We
We were eating breakfast, you know. I'm feeling good. I just had my workout. I'm eating breakfast.
Yeah.
There's some really good looking women at the front. So I'm like, you know, got my little strut. I got my little strut going on, you know. I got my little strut and I'm looking. They don't even know who the hell they're not even looking at us, right? So I got my little strut. I'm looking at them. I'm walking into the elevator.
yeah.
Normally here in America,
Right.
elevators open when they sense something.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
There's regulations.
They don't do that over there, apparently. So I'm walking through.
He
This
gets
freaking thing is
slammed
just.
Are you serious?
Oh,
I'm
I'm dying.
And then it opens up. I drop into the elevator. My leg's sticking out. He's dying.
Dying.
Grabbing my leg, throwing.
I'm
I go,
dying.
push the button. Push the button.
Because
push the button.
my part of the story is I'm walking in back of him. So I know him so well. I know what he's doing. He's peacocking through the, because that girl. And I'm like, look at this-
Peacocking.
Peacocking.
this son of a bitch. He's like feeling good. Good for him. And I know, and he's like, walking up, and then all of a sudden he gets nailed by this thing, and I'm thinking,
times.
Did it hurt?
He's trying to look like the gigolo from America, and he looks like Jerry Lewis.
He's holding himself up on the wall, trying to push the
I'm
button.
dying. I'm like,
Yeah. He's not even standing. He can't even stand.
Because
We're laughing.
in my mind is like, you're trying to impress this girl, and you almost got
Stupid.
killed in Australia.
Did it
by an
hurt?
Elevator.
No, it was more like
it was more like yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going? Oh my!
It hurt his
God.
feelings.
So,
Hurt his feelings.
You're watching the biggest ego death ever.
oh yeah, that was
I
like
was
you
like-
get humbled very quickly by an
Yeah,
elevator
yeah,
in
yeah.
Australia.
I'm like, I went downstairs. There was a little gym. I go, I'm gonna go jump on the treadmill. I really wanted to talk to that girl he was trying to impress.
Yeah.
So I walk by. I go, hey, did you
you
just
see that?
see what just happened? And I swear to God, she's like, no, I wasn't looking. all this time he was trying to impress her. She had no idea we were in the fucking room.
Did that kill you?
Oh God!
How many times have you guys checked into a hotel and been booked a king room by accident?
Right now, every time we check into a hotel, the first question we ask is there 2 beds in there?
Yeah.
Or, so because it happens all the time. And I'm usually the one giving the baby bed that has to sleep in. Because this gorilla over here needs, a king-size bed for one arm.
It's another thing I gotta tell the little baby.
Wait, so what do you guys do? Like, do you pick a side of the bed or something?
Well, no,
like when
this
you
is-
have to?
No, we never. That never.
we don't
happens.
sleep together.
No, we get
No,
there's
that
a
has to
cot or some
No,
shit.
I'm
they bring-
giving a baby bed. He'll explain.
We
my
had
horror.
we had one place where everything was sold out. All right, so I'll give Tony.
happens.
It happens. So we had one room, 3 guys. Look at him.
Oh man.
So good.
Then you got. He's always like, oh,
I know. I'll sleep in the tub.
They literally bring in. I swear to God, this looked like a little dollhouse bed.
The folding cot.
It was.
No,
it was.
it wasn't
No,
even
it was red. It was like a little dollhouse bed on wheels.
It
right?
was a drawer.
And it was
of
on the
of
floor. It was just like this, right? On the floor. It was like this. So I'm looking at it, and
There's a mattress in it?
Yeah. So I didn't want to say anything, so I go to sleep, right? Everybody's sleeping. All of a sudden, I wake up middle of the night, I'm going to go pee. I walk out, and I see him. He's just like this.
Nestled into my.
He looked like this little
shoebox on the
little
floor.
shoebox doll. I burst out laughing. I woke everybody up. I'm dying. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I go, "You look like
Yeah.
this little fucking thing."
I'm always.
Where
I'm
did he
always-
sleep?
Huh?
Where did Tony
They
sleep?
got the
Tony
beds.
was on the bed. I was on this bed, and he's on this little tiny little.
Oh, it was a double room with 3 guys.
Oh my God! It was
Okay.
freaking hilarious. It just
We do
shit
that a
like
lot.
that.
So yeah, so we make sure we always ask. This happened literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That we walked in the room and oh fuck, one bed. We marched our way down there, and you know, it's funny when that happens because the person can see one bedroom.
Right.
And then
And they
we're
look at
usually
you.
at the counter together, and then they'll look at
No
me.
wonder
going,
they were
in your
looking
room
at
is.
us
I go, no,
like
no, I'm
that.
with him. They're like, oh, enjoy your night.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's weird. Why she
Yeah,
did that? I
that's
don't know why.
weird.
Then you open the door and go, one bed.
Why is it
Oh,
shaped
we're
like
lovers
a
again.
heart?
We're lovers again.
Oh God!
We take a shower and then we go down and we complain.
Well, I mean, I could honestly sit here all day and just be endlessly entertained by you guys.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Same thing. We got a show tonight. Speed this up.
Yeah, right. I'm a forever fan of the Uncle Louie Variety Show, as so many people are. You keep them coming back year after year. The Wooden Spoon Tour, Wooden Spoon Survivor Tour,
Yes.
2025. Go to the Uncle Louie Variety Show.
World tour.
.com. Yeah.
Uncle Louie, the Uncle Louie Variety Show.com.
Right.
Or look them up. It's Carlo Russo and it's Lou Greco.
You just Google Uncle Louie. You'll figure it out. You'll see everything.
You'll
One of the best variety, one of the only variety shows, but one of the
Yeah.
best going right now.
Well, thank you. I know I can speak for him. We want to thank you guys for everything you guys done for us, being on the road and building a friendship, hanging out with you in Chicago.
just
We are
here.
forever fans of you guys too, man.
We love everything
you.
you do. We've been fans since we saw your beautiful face on TV, and I couldn't believe that one day I was like, I remember watching you, and now that we're actually friends and we've done stuff together and worked together and done personal, and we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys, you make this fun.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
From Anthony, Greg, and I, thank you
Yeah.
for joining us for another
Really.
episode of the Breaking Bread podcast. See you soon.
Oh, I thought you were talking to them. I was like, from Anthony, Greg, and I. I'm
Let's
like,
do it
yeah,
again.
yeah.